and welcome to another California Guy video with your boy California Guy. What's up, everybody, and welcome to this video. This video is entitled Daryl Scott Debacle. Now, Daryl Scott is a minister out of Cleveland, Ohio. He was one of the speakers at last year's Republican National Convention. I first caught one of this guy through social media and through news sites, and you got this coon that's up here on a bigger platform, and he's talking shit, and he's under the guise of a minister. You know, you got the three stooges up there, technically, the new breed of coons up there. That's Ben Carlson, and you got Sheriff Clark, and now you got this guy Daryl Scott, and Sheriff Clark. I don't need to really go into that. A lot of you black people know about Sheriff Clark. He's the slave overseer of the black people. A lot of it, and people got to understand this when it comes to mainstream coons. I'm not talking about coons on YouTube or little podcasting and all that stuff there. I'm gonna break down the big coons, the big dogs. These funded coons are put in place so that instead of always having white people to attack black culture, various segments of black culture, they use the coon. They use the coons, and they select these coons like Stacey Dash, Daryl Scott, and the list goes longer. Jesse Lee Peterson, um, Sheriff Clark, uh, Clarence Thomas. List goes on. I mean, as long as you know them. But the new tactic of the white supremacists is to use um, these funded coons. You use various people in certain branches of government. In cases like you use a black cop, for example, the tactic was police were killing black men and women in the United States the last 3 to 4 years in higher numbers. It was more public. It was in higher numbers through social media. You had stuff like Ferguson and even Trayvon Martin, even though I wasn't a cop, that was a vigilante. But the tactic of the white supremacists was okay. The police was looking bad. The police was looking horrible. So you had Black Lives Matters and you had different black people protesting. So the next tactic was because the police was looking bad, we're gonna get a sheriff. We're gonna get a sheriff, and we're gonna have him as a spokesperson because he's black. He's African American, so he looks like them. He looks like the agitator. So we're gonna use him in order to trash the black community and say that they're race baiters or they're having out of wedlock babies. He's repeating the same stuff that white supremacists have been saying for almost a couple of decades. So he's repeating old mantra. Same for Jesse Lee Williams. Jesse Lee Williams, same thing. You talk about out of wedlock babies, thugs, drugs, all that stuff there, and we can't. There's no such thing as racism until you clean up your own community. So that's basically what these guys are doing. These are funded coons, the funded coon. And it trickles down into even the low level coons, the low level ones, the ones that you see even on YouTube and on Facebook and on message boards, where you have these low level coons who basically say the same thing. They get it from these funded coons who center themselves around the Bush administration, Republican National Committee, the conservative movements, and all that stuff there. The conservative movement and the white supremacists have did a good job, and they do it with Latinos too, by the way, and they do it with certain Jewish individuals too. So it's not just African American people that they're doing that with, but mainly black people, because they, again, the white supremacists in the Republican Party has never been able to crack black voters. They've never been able to crack them. So black people usually don't vote for Democrats. So they figure out, because black people hate Republican Party, they hate conservatism and all that stuff that goes along with it. So they try to figure out different ways of cracking the code. And to crack the code is that you um, use different tactics so we won't be called racist. So we use different black people. And this is not per se to get black voters, black people to jump on a ship. It's to get the white people that's undercover racists to say, oh, it's not so bad because there's an African American speaking against his own people. If a black person is publicly pointing out that black people have, black women have babies out of wedlock, or black men are in jail in high numbers in inner cities or Chicago and Baltimore, whatever the place that they pick, then that's all well and good. And that's where we come into Daryl Scott. Daryl Scott, again, was this minister. I think that he wanted funding for his church because black people do anything for for attention. That's the nature of these buck dancing shine coons, is that they do anything for attention. Sometimes people sell out to become a coon in order to build an audience, to make some change. That's why you have so many coon YouTubers, by the way. There have a lot of YouTubers that are coons, black YouTubers. A lot of them, when you measure up how many anti black women, anti black men videos that's on YouTube from black men and black women, it's alarming. It's lots of them. It actually rivals white supremacist videos against black people because they don't really need to do no more work because you got these white supremacy videos anchored by black people. You get all these, but it comes down from the big guns. It comes down from the funded coons all the way down, and then trickles down into these little minor league coons that you see on social media, such as YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that. Because cooning is big time, and I think I've said this for the last couple of years that cooning brings you money. Cooning brings you attention. If you go on a limb and you say, well, black people just, they're bad for their own race, or they do this, then the funding goes up. Your view count goes up. You have different various people, whites and blacks, maybe Latinos, that are kind of co-sign the video. But that comes from the top level coons, and the top level coons get attention. Sheriff Clark had a seat at the table at the Republican National Convention. Joe Scott, he got to sit there on the 1st of February in Black History Month and tell the president a lie. That's where the real meat comes in at. This guy told the president that, he was building up truces in Chicago, and, I think it was staged, by the way. A lot of black people, they jumped on that. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed for calling him out. Joe Scott was caught up in a lie. He was with the president, and they were trying to indirectly tell all of the black community to beware that I'm going to come in there with slave catchers, and we're going to put it into what's going on in Chicago. It's basically what that was. And Joe Scott was caught in a lie. He never truced with any gang members, and they would never come to him anyway. And he even said that the gang members like Trump. A lot of them don't even know probably who Trump is, or give a fuck about Trump because they're too busy selling their dope. But that's just the new age coon. The new age coon is, again, funded through the mainstream media, and it trickles down into social media, into some segments of black society. And the coons, they figure that they're much more intelligent, they're much more devious. They use different tactics, they use different shaming tactics against blacks, and they try to use the term pro-blacks because they've always, I know, so on black YouTube, they always say pro-black this, pro-black that, pro-black, 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 pro-black. And that's a code word from coons and white supremacists for black community. That's basically what they're saying. It's no such thing as a pro-black. That term is so used. I look at black YouTube and I laugh at that terminology, and they say fake pro-black, and I'm like, really? But that means black community. So they code that word up, and they get that from their white masters. White people gave these black YouTubers that term pro-black because it comes from white people. White people have said that. So they take the term that the Caucasian man gave them, and they use it to attack other black people on YouTube and black culture in general. That's why you always hear the term pro-black, pro-black, pro-black. So this is basically the new age coon in action. This is the new age coon talking, and it's an operation going on, an echo chamber. It comes from the top and it ends into the bottom. And a lot of these coons, they look up to certain coon, maybe YouTubers, or they follow other bigger platforms, and they start to repeat it in their own videos. and that's what these coons do. This is the Daryl Scott, and is the bringer of the new age coon. And you have a lot of other black, and I see it with my own research that a lot of these black coons dominate black YouTube, and they try to make it be about pro blacks, but really they're attacking the black community. The white man has given them the name pro black, and they use it for everything. Anybody that talk about something black, that's a pro black. It's funny to me. Everything that's talked about this black. Oh, you're pro black. If you talk about hip hop, pro black. If you talk about basketball, you're pro black. So that's the thing. That's the game that these coons play, and then they're associated with intelligence. Like, I'm more educated. A lot of coons, they even make it a point to say that because they're intelligent, that black people disrespect them. They've even done that. So, like and share this video, people. My next video I'm gonna do is a response to Big JX that he did against me a month ago, also too. So stay tuned for that video. Peace out.